Now, please help me welcome Jim Pineo.
Like I said in my speech, I've got to get this started. I haven't learned how. I'm not showing on the screen. Albert Mehebra is a psychologist, and he came up with the idea of communicating, verbal communication. It's 55% body language, 38% verbal language, and 7% words. Now, I'm sure you've heard Tan say this same thing before. But the thing is, how good are you at using these communication skills? Me, I have trouble with them all the time. Because what you say in words is just a small part of what you're conveying to the opposing people. Tan, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. How do you set the stage when it's your turn to communicate? And when I say communicate, I don't mean giving a speech, because you are communicating when you give a speech. But if you're speaking one-to-one to a 5-year-old child, you're communicating. You try to talk your way out of a ticket with a policeman, you're communicating. Let's set the stage and be the best we can when we are communicating. You can set the stage. How many people do you see when they get on a stage? They grab the lectern and they're frozen to that lectern. You can get away from there. You can get in front of the stage and use the rule of threes. You can use the right side of the stage, the left side of the stage, the center of the stage for a part. You can use the front of the stage. You can use the back of the stage. You can use the middle to represent different things, different ages, different locations, etc. And you can use movement. You're not restricted to that lectern. And the thing is, what I'm doing right now, I cannot do it. I would be better off standing up talking to you, because where I'm sitting here, how many of you can see my arms moving, making motions? You can't see it. If I'm standing up, fine, you can see it. Now, of course, you can't see my head. There's another point that I've seen too, and I really like some of the people tonight. When you're doing the Zoom, the lighting is so critical. Some people, you can barely see their faces. Sometimes it's washed out. The background can be distracting or it can be enhancing. I'm using a boardroom right now to enhance what I'm saying, because I'm talking about a presentation, which would be, say, like in a boardroom. I don't want to be out in the jungle, because I'm not talking to the monkeys. Using props can also be a great thing. You saw the props that Aurora was using tonight, that screen. I don't know how to do it, so I do it a different way. And you can be as complicated or as simple as you want. One of the tricks I learned a long time ago is make sure that if you're using a board, everything is big enough that people can see it. Don't put too much on the board. And another little trick that people had, if you're having a light color, like you're talking about cancer, and it's on a white board, one way to do it is to take and make your letters pink and put a black border around them. It'll make them stand out. There are a lot of tricks you can use like that for presentation. One thing we're learning right now, and it's really doubled what I have to learn and what I enjoy with presentations, is Zoom. because you are concerned with framing, with your lighting, with other features that are around you, like I say, like the room. So you need to work on these things. And the thing I'm saying is go to Toastmasters, get in there and exaggerate. Because I have another speech that I give that's called Be a Fool. And that means throw your arms way out. Do all kinds of things that are beyond what you would normally do that look foolish. And what you can do with that is you learn that holding onto that lectern is one extreme. Being foolish and expanding yourself is another extreme. And when you look at both of them, you come to a good medium where you have a good framing and a good presentation to the audience. But here is where we do it. And we work on it. Now, like I say, the things that I could have done with Zoom, that's a speech, a whole new speech for another day. So when you go to your next speech at Toastmasters, think of all the different things you can do. Think of how your lighting is. Think of how your stage is, how you might move around and use it to present different things. Exaggerate, learn your limits. Do it here. Learn to set the stage and give a better presentation, because your words are only 7% of your presentation. Make your speech the most that it can be. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jim. I'm going to now put 2 minutes on the clock so we can all send Jim his evaluation.
You can turn the recording off.